Our John McClain, Hall of Fame columnist, again, GallerySports.com, Sports Radio 610 in Houston, and with us in many stations throughout the week. John, thank you very much for your time. Every time we think there may not be a crazier ending in anything sports, we see what happened to the Patriots and Raiders. Is there anything comparable to that?
I've never seen anything going back to when I started watching football in 1960 when I was 8 years old, and the Cowboys were on CBS and the Oilers were on NBC. And then I started covering it in 1977, and I've never seen anything like it, and I doubt seriously we ever will, because coaches will just ingrain it in their players. You don't do that. You know, what Ramondre Stevenson did, lateral, I've seen guys with leads lateral the ball. Like sometimes you'll see them on the last play try to intercept the pass instead of knock it down, where if it bounced off you, it could be a touchdown for a Hail Mary. So players do some dumbass things. But when Jacoby Myers threw that ball out to the middle of the field and it went to Chandler Jones, of all people, who was dumped by the Patriots, they didn't want him anymore. And watching him score that winning touchdown, I've never seen anything like it. The Raiders were involved in the Cup game going back to 1968, the Heidi game. People could Google it and find out what the Heidi game was. And it was ironic considering how many games they've blown this year in which they've been ahead. And to be gifted by that, of all coaches, the smart one, and I'll guarantee you there's a lot of people in the NFL who've been outsmarted by Bill Belichick, who took special pride in seeing him stand there hopelessly while his player made the biggest bonehead decision in the history of the NFL.
John, the Texans took the Chiefs into overtime this week. Is this a sign of improvement the last couple weeks, or how do you assess what they've done, even though they've still lost both those games?
Well, first of all, let's be honest. The Cowboys and the Chiefs had a hard time getting up to the Texans, the worst team in the NFL. And the Texans took advantage of it, and both of them almost lost. And that was a learning experience for Mike McCarthy, but they didn't learn, obviously, against Jacksonville, and a learning experience for the Chiefs, and we'll see. But at least they were exciting. I don't think it'll save Lovie Smith's job. They'd have to beat, they've got 3 games left in the AFC South. I think they'd have to win out to save his job. But it was a lot more fun, I'll tell you that. Usually the Texans games are boring from start to finish. So those are almost like victories.
John, how much are you buying into the Jaguars actually moving in a positive direction for once?
Let's be honest, Craig, that pick six, who was the guy that dropped the ball right in his hand?
Noah Brown.
That game wasn't on Dak Prescott. When I say, Dak Prescott threw a pick six and the Cowboys got beat by the Jacksonville Jaguars, no, he didn't throw it. Brown basically gave it away. And I didn't feel bad for the Cowboys because shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. Remember, 3 weeks ago, they had scored 33 points in the fourth quarter to beat Indianapolis. Then they almost lost to the Texans. They did lose to the Jaguars. They may be the only team in the NFL that's glad it's not through playing the AFC South, one of the two, well, I think the next to worst division to the NFC South. But the key is now they better beat Gardner Minshew. You know, Micah Parsons needs to learn to put a lid on it. He's going to blow Defensive Player of the Year to Nick Bosa, who deserves it more than Parsons because he's better than him in every stat. And he plays on a better team with a better defense. But they better win that game because if Gardner Minshew, the mustache, the Mike Leach protege, if he can run, people act like they don't have anybody who can run the ball at quarterback other than Jalen Hurts. That's not true. Anybody who's watched him play for Jacksonville, and I've watched him play a lot of games with the Jaguars, he can run, and I'm sure he will do it. And that game's going to be tough. If the Cowboys blow it without Jalen Hurts, nobody's going to take him seriously.
I know this is cyclical, just like divisional power, like the NFC East right now. It's 4 teams all above 500. It used to be a dominant Super Bowl. Whoever won the East won the Super Bowl, but then it fell apart. You look at the quarterbacks that are probably going to be in the playoffs in the AFC: Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Tua, and then there's 1 or 2 others I might be missing. And then you look at the NFC, it's absolutely a landslide of talent. Is that just cyclical, and does that mean the AFC is stronger?
I think the AFC is definitely stronger, even though I think Philadelphia is the best team and San Francisco has the best defense. And the way Kyle Shanahan is coaching, I'll tell you what, he's going to get my vote for Coach of the Year if they keep this up with Brock Purdy. Because we saw Brock Purdy all of those 9 years he spent at Iowa State, and I don't think any of us thought he'd be more than a practice squad player in the NFL. And a lot of it has to do with him, of course, but also has to do with his coaching and them making what they do fit his strengths and trying to minimize his weaknesses despite having injuries at other positions. So I think when you look at Jalen Hurts, yes, he's right up there with them. But, man, oh, man, the AFC is definitely stronger. The playoffs look like they're going to be a whole lot more fun.
John, what did you think of the 49ers being able to roll out Brock Purdy and continue to win? Who knows if he can play this weekend? I know he's a little banged up, but how have they managed to do this on their third quarterback?
It's unbelievable what they've been able to do to lose Trey Lance. They were fortunate to have Jimmy Garoppolo. Then they lose him. And then Kyle Shanahan says, no, we're going to go with Mr. Irrelevant. And quickly he becomes relevant. And now his jersey's the hottest seller in the NFL. He's fortunate to have the best defense in every category, led by defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans, who will be the hottest coordinator for head coaching positions. And they're fun to watch. They don't need Purdy to win the games. They just don't want him to lose the game. And the Christian McCaffrey trade looks even better now than it did. Deebo Samuel's hurt. They got McCaffrey. If they're open at the playoffs, everybody will be 100% because, you know, defense is supposed to win championships. So I love this time of year. It's crunch time in the NFL, December. Of course, now we've added January when they separate the pretenders and the contenders. And this past weekend, man, oh, man, if this one coming up is anywhere close to that one, there's going to be a lot of people who may not be able to take it.
You know, the extra week, John, we saw that last year and now this year. What is the drawback other than attrition of the extra game?
I don't think there is any drawback. We're going to go to 18 games, too. I mean, that's coming. That's without a doubt. And as long as the players get paid more money, I think there'll be 2 bye weeks in there. It doesn't matter when you have the Super Bowl. You know, you're never going to start the season on Labor Day, but you can run the Super Bowl to the last week of February if you need to. So 18 games is coming, which probably, if I'm the union, I demand rosters be increased. Game day rosters of guys that can be activated would have to be more. But the whole key is, usually you say it's keeping your quarterback healthy. Well, you know what? 49ers couldn't keep their quarterbacks healthy, and they might be as good as anybody.
John, thank you. Baylor and the Air Force Academy on Thursday in Fort Worth. It's going to be below 20. It's a night game. It's in a stadium against with a rival's name all attached to it.
I'll be watching, guys. I'll be pulling for the Bears and stick 'em.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
You too, buddy. Good to have you on. John McClain, Hall of Fame columnist, NFL Hall of Famer, and also a part of the Hall of Fame committee with us on 365 Sports. Did you look at the